Welcome back to the Stache Club Wrestling Podcast. My name is John.
My name is Jimmy.
Folks, we got one for you. We got a video for you. This is, as you all know, the only wrestling podcast on the internet. Folks, thank you for being here. We really appreciate it. Jimmy, how are we today? I guess you got an array of beverages over there. 2 Red Bulls cracked at the same time.
Well, one's already done.
Okay.
One's already done. Coconut berry Red Bull, the best Red Bull. The only Red Bull, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And then 2, I mean, I know I'm going to get some hate for this, but 2 Prime, the hydration beverages, new flavors. We got Supernova. We got Red Chill.
Not sponsored.
Not sponsored yet. I don't want to get any drippings
Hey,
on the technology here.
it.
We're going to do a live taste test. First ever time me trying Supernova Prime. 1 sip, you know the drip.
My guess is going to be, it's going to be like banana flavored based on the yellow.
Yeah, I don't know about the banana flavor,
No?
but it doesn't taste too good.
Okay. Not even like a lemonade.
It's sweet.
Okay. What are you getting? What are you tasting? Anything? It's really throwing you for a loop.
I know.
Huh?
I'm trying to
You got
look.
anything?
I mean, coconut water is in every one of these beverages, but
Okay.
nothing like jumping out at me. Kind of.
What does it taste? What does it taste like though? I want you to taste and describe. I don't want you reading no labels.
It tastes pretty sweet. It tastes like almost all the other ones a little bit.
Okay.
It might literally just be packaging different for another flavor. Do you want to try it? No.
Not really. Thank you though.
All right. We'll move on to Red Chill.
So, that was an enlightening review of the first one.
Same thing as the other one. Not even lying.
I don't know if we're getting the sponsorship at this point.
I mean, no, it tastes good. It's gonna make me hydrated, I think. But some potassium, vitamin E.
You getting hints of anything? Hints of, was it cherry something? Any hints of cherry?
Yeah, some cherry in there. I think so.
That felt like a lie.
Perhaps a little bit of cherry.
Yeah. What does it say? Hydration that drives your dreams. Hell yeah.
Prime.
Damn. Well, that was wild. All
Yeah.
right. Well, all right. On my new wave here, I'm hydrated, filled with vodka. So,
Let's go.
all right, folks. We got a lot to discuss. Before we get into it, though, please, obviously, make sure you subscribe. We'd really appreciate it. Make sure you're leaving your likes, you're leaving your comments. We'd love to hear from you, folks. We have a Patreon. Patreon.com/Stache Club Wrestling to get a bonus episode on top of the main feed episode. We're answering questions. It's a Q&A. We're chit-chatting about things that aren't on the main episode or wouldn't be on the main episode. So head over there. Really appreciate it. It's a great way to support the show. Also, one thing I want to add, hey, tell your friend about the show. I want everyone listening to tell one friend about the pod.
I like that.
As we are the only wrestling podcast on the internet. Should be easy to find.
Yeah.
Should be easy to sell.
We're literally the only podcast going right now.
No others exist, unfortunately. So
It's sad. You would think with how popular this fine sport is, there'd be more podcasts, but there isn't. And lucky enough, it's just us two.
I know.
And we fell into this gig, so.
ain't that the truth?
Yeah.
All right. What say you? I don't know. Want to get into it? Want to dive in? We're actually starting off on a pretty somber note, unless you got anything.
No, I was gonna say which Fatal 4-Way match do you want to talk about? Because there's been abundance.
I've been having fun with almost all of them.
Me too. I guess it's a popular take to kind of dismiss Fatal 4-Way matches, given there's been some reoccurring themes of these matches a bit, but we'll get there when we get there. Maybe we'll talk about the unfortunateness of last night.
What I found too is it's honestly, and this isn't, I'm not breaking the mold here, where it's just when the King of the Ring first got announced and it was Fatal 4-Ways as opposed to like singles matches, and it was way short of a bracket, instantly, this sucks. This sucks. But you were one of the only optimistic people, or I think you tweeted out or whatever, you're like, I don't know about you guys. I like a Fatal 4-Way match. And genuinely, while I don't know if I want to see the Fatal 4-Way match be the standard, or at least there should be another round. I don't like how we're already at the semifinals.
I even want more Fatal 4-Way matches.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
So if we even extended it and did Fatal 4-Ways, and then everything kind of, it goes Fatal 4-Way. What if I don't know if the math works out. What if it goes Fatal 4-Way, triple threat, singles?
Sure.
But it is just for some reason, it's the immediate reaction of it's something different, and they go, that sucks. It wasn't the other thing I was expecting. And then we've been having the Fatal 4-Ways, and like these matches have been a ball.
Yeah.
So it's like it's I think
on the women's side, very unpredictable winners too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say definitely more so than the men's. But yeah, I've been having fun. Obviously now I think we're totally done with round one. I think everywhere is the semifinals in terms of every side of the bracket.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, but I had a ball. It added something different, and it made the matches more unpredictable. Yes. And I think there were we had Alexa Bliss going over Charlotte, where I think a lot of people were just like, oh, Charlotte's gonna win. We had Roxanne going over Rhea a few weeks ago, where I think that was the obvious. I was like, oh, Rhea's gonna win. Roxanne went over. So there's a lot of I've been enjoying it. I think it kind of just speaks to like, hey. And I'm not someone that likes change, but hey, give stuff a chance.
Yes.
Give stuff a chance. Don't immediately just hate on something, which there is something that happened also we're going to talk about that, we're going to talk about, I don't know. But before we get to there, we are going to, like I said, start off on kind of an unfortunate note. Liv Morgan last night on Raw did get injured. I think now it's being reported that it was a dislocated shoulder. No updates as of now. I just kind of looked at some websites to see, if there's any reports of how serious it was. Mainly just speculation of, it is a dislocated shoulder. Depending on the severity, if it's not super severe, the timeline's not looking too bad. If it is a severe dislocation, she might not be cleared for people are speculating 16 weeks or something. Which regardless, you don't want you hate to see it. Period. And it's kind of just unfortunate for a multitude of reasons. It's unfortunate for the obvious of, this is a person who got injured doing, this job, and you hate to see it. It really just reinforces, hey, this shit is dangerous. And even the most simple and routine bumps could end up unfortunate like this. And then to kind of take it a step further to the story side of things, this does kind of throw off, even regardless of the timeline, even if it's for a couple weeks or 16 weeks, throws off a lot of stories we're mounting. Liv Morgan, I would say, is the most prominent women's wrestler in the company right now. She's featured in 4 storylines. We're leading to the Nikki Bella stuff. Obviously, her and Dom are still doing stuff.
She's a
Judgment
movie
Day
star.
stuff. She's a movie star. She's in 2 other feuds. But yeah, it just sucks to see. And looking at the replay, looked pretty gnarly.
Such bad timing. Simple mat takedown. And just awful luck for Kairi Sane, who Kairi Sane was also involved with the Zoe Starks match. And then she ended up having to take a pin allegedly. There wasn't, I don't think, confirmed that what the finish of that match was, but poor Kairi Sane. But also poor freaking Liv Morgan, who this is such bad timing. She's involved in so many storylines. One of the best parts of Monday Night Raw. She started off the show, the pro. I was so happy to see Liv Morgan starting off the show. Monday Night Morgan, fiery promo.
Jumping into an Io Sky feud for that world title. Hell yeah.
Yeah, it was a great start of the show. And I'm like, damn, this is this kind of Liv Morgan show a little bit. Io Sky too, love her babyface promo, kind of also throwing Dom under the bus, And
I like tossing Liv the title and then drop kicking her yeah, you want it?
And then it kicked the Dom too, which I was like, oh my goodness, let's freaking go. And then of course later on in the night this happened, and I hope Liv Morgan gets the health she needs, and it's just comes back even stronger. I don't know if you want to speculate what they're gonna do now, because she is a tag team champion. Will they keep the titles and wait for her to return, or maybe Roxanne could step up and kind of do a little Judgment Day switch where it's...
Yeah, honestly, I don't have much on that note, to be honest. I think I'm more so just wanting to wait until we kind of see what we're looking at. Yeah. Before kind of even start... Because who knows? We could, it could only be a couple weeks. And then, I don't know,
It just makes me sad, though, because, the recent releases of, some of the wrestlers and, the KCs, for example, they're a tag team. I just look at now if Liv Morgan's out of the picture and what other tag teams are in this division. I kind of can't really point to one that's going to be the next champions, and it's been unfortunate.
Yeah, it's blow to the tag division. Obviously, any blow to the women's tag division is a massive blow, just considering the state of it currently, and obviously a blow to the women's division. But yeah, obviously, I don't want to get ahead of myself. Hope we don't know the timeline yet. We don't know the diagnosis or anything. So fingers crossed and best wishes,
absolutely,
and luck to Liv Morgan. And I think also you were saying it sucks for Kyrie, where I haven't seen too much of it, but I've heard through the grapevine that it's been going around. Now people are calling Kyrie unsafe and, this, that, and the other, which I don't think is
I mean, there's definitely something to be
justified.
said, because I think she's been working under Goldberg quite a bit since he's returned.
Oh, is that true?
So there's some correlation of, maybe she's just stopped talking to Goldberg.
Whoa. I honestly, I did not know Kyrie was being trained by Goldberg.
Totally kidding. It's not her fault. It's an unpredictable sport, and just really bad luck for her, though.
Yeah, and like it's even like with is it like we were not to go in circles. There's a pretty routine spot, routine takedown, and just an unfortunate way of landing.
Yeah, you take things for granted. You're like, oh, I can easily take this spot on my arms, and then there goes my shoulder. God
and
damn.
I couldn't help but just feel like that. I'm sure I can't imagine me in that situation. One, like it's the start of the match. Two, you're in front of I don't know what 6,000 or 7,000 people. And then like I don't know, like the anxiety just spiked in me from seeing her do that, and she immediately kind of goes to the arm. Shit becomes real, and then obviously Kyrie doesn't know she's really injured, so she having to try to like roll out. She kind of like went to the corner. I saw her shake her head no to the ref, and like having to do all that while being like, oh no, like what just happened, like. I like just this a nerve-wracking and anxiety-inducing experience. I would imagine,
absolutely.
Just like seeing that realness kind of punches you in the face right back to reality of like, oh right, these are human beings that are doing this dangerous sport as a job with risking their injury for our entertainment every single week, and things like this unfortunately happen with routine spots, but. Yeah, man, it sucks for a multitude of reasons, but hopefully, like I said, fingers crossed going forward. Hopefully, we kind of get a update, and in the coming days, kind of see what the timeline's looking like. Hopefully, I'd say glass. I don't know if glass half full is really the term, but if maybe she is on the shelf for a little bit, but can still be on TV, we can maybe still get like her character. Along with her in-ring, her character is just as strong as her in-ring. Yeah. So maybe I saw someone saying maybe her and Dom kind of switch places, and Dom is the more active one, and she's kind of the more manager role. Yeah. And maybe she's probably in a sling. She can kind of still, obviously, safety-wise, but be ringside or in backstage segments. So
or even rest up, have some rainy days, and then ultimately, when you have some rainy days, you can appreciate the shiny day when she comes back, and maybe she's. It's been weeks where it's building with Dom and Roxanne's relationship builds, and it's like, oh, Liv's back, and she's now had enough of this.
Oh, she will come back with the biggest face. The pop she'll get if she's gone for like even more than 4 weeks.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it'll be crazy.
So, some rainy days to enjoy the sunny ones. Yeah.
But again, Liv, our best wishes, and we'll move on to the next topic here. We do have... Goldberg versus Gunther is officially set for Saturday night's main event.
For the World Heavyweight Championship, we have Goldberg, who... What was his last match? What was this guy's last go in the ring?
It wasn't the Fiend.
Little impromptu quiz.
Do you know? Are you?
No, I'm just genuinely curious because my issue immediately is like, why the hell does this old geezer get a title match?
Oh yeah.
Why did Jey Uso have to die for this?
It was so his past handful. I'll give you his past handful. 2022 was his last match for the Universal title against Roman Reigns. It lasted 6 minutes. It was in Saudi Arabia by referee's decision for Elimination Chamber 2022. Okay. Before that was in 2021, No Holds Barred, Falls Count Anywhere. That was against Bobby Lashley at Crown Jewel 2021.
Oh, so that's when he earned this title match.
Oh, right, yeah, in 2021. He beat Bobby Lashley. All right. Yeah, I mean, that's the most obvious criticism is just like, why is this for the world title in kayfabe? What justifies it being for world title? Just because, and like Goldberg came in the ring and he was like, a couple months ago, you made fun of my family. And I was like, that was like what? 8 months ago?
That was a long time
ago. Yes. That wasn't that recent.
No, it wasn't.
So I don't know. Yeah, so there's no justification on why he gets a title match. Like, it is wrestling. I get he is Goldberg. So like that's justification enough to get him a title match, sure, whatever.
Or justification of to be kind of a coward and wait so long to get justice for your family.
Yeah, had to wait until like, well, yeah, I don't know. So I don't know. Where are you? Because I know where the internet's at.
Yeah.
Where are you at with this?
I hate to pile on and join the internet, but like, even here's the thing. Even with me, who I loved when WWE feeds me my nostalgia porridge,
Sure.
like I'll eat it all up and love every second of it. I yearn for back when I was a kid and watching Goldberg as we came to WWE first and fought The Rock. I was all hyped up, and that run didn't go too well, whatever, but Goldberg is still an attraction. He's still like that kind of almost the last piece of like 90s nostalgia that can still, I guess, quote unquote, go in the ring. But I say that, but last night this man was sweating profusely just walking to the ring. He could barely even get up onto the top of the ropes. There was that report too of like him coming out and saying like, yeah, I got injured.
Oh yeah.
I think he might not wear his typical Goldberg undies to wrestle. So maybe some kind of leg injury. So he might be wearing the long boys. So Goldberg.
So he has some like braces or something under there.
He's gonna have a very unique look. Maybe they make it not Last Man Standing, street fight, and they wear jeans, maybe, So like it happened to Triple H too back in the day, where like he had a quad injury, so he couldn't work out, so he wore like these long tights. So I'm just saying that because going to the Goldberg's injury, like he reported that he can barely even walk right now.
Well, yeah, I mean, even just him walking down to the ring, his knees look pretty cooked.
And like, I'm someone that like can look on the bright side of things. I was also on the bright side of things with Gunther and Pat McAfee, for instance. This is kind of a similar matchup where it's like Goldberg at this point is basically a celebrity more than a wrestler, and I can kind of put my fan cap on and be excited for this. Mm-hmm. Not this case. I'm kind of now looking at it like in a point of view where I'm actually a big fan of Gunther, and I kind of hate this for him. I think he's kind of above this. Why is this a world title match? Why did Jey Uso have to die for this? Because like it seemingly it's like the title change happened, so this could be a title match.
100%.
I do have love and respect for Goldberg, but at the same time, it's tough. I point to this being at in his hometown, Atlanta, Georgia, so that's a special thing. He deserves to have a retirement match. He's going out on his own terms, which it's something I can support too. But at the end of the day, it's leaving a bit sour note.
Yeah, I don't disagree with any of that. Like I think I am kind of choosing what you said of like, and I think it's so I can enjoy it, where I am actively choosing to just take the fan route of it and be like, hey, it's Goldberg, but I don't disagree in the slightest with any of that of like, not to repeat, but just like, yeah, why is it a world title match? Gunther Goldberg in 2025 is looking pretty tough. They haven't announced it yet as his retirement match. I hope that
it has to be, because then what makes me confident going into it for at least Gunther winning is this being a world title match, because like in a million years Goldberg winning the world title in 2025. Yeah. Where do you go from here if that freaking happens?
Well, here's the thing. I don't think you have to worry about that, and okay. I will knock on wood or like whatever. It is on Saturday night's main event. Mm-hmm. I thought this was gonna be on Night of Champions. I am shocked it's on Saturday night's main event. Well, not shocked for different reasons.
It being in Atlanta, Georgia, I think is
it being in Atlanta, and also it's the same day as All In.
Yeah.
So they're trying, which is so funny. Of like, we gotta compete with Okada Omega. Let's get Goldberg in there.
Hey, I think they're honestly kind of looking at that situation as like a punt. I'm almost like, hey, we're going to steal this kind of extra show just to kind of throw something in the way of All In, and why not do a nostalgia burger and do Goldberg? And again, if they really wanted to compete with All In, they would have had moved up Night of Champions or scheduled SummerSlam at the same time and had some like crazy banger matches. But they're kind of just throwing a TV show, a cable TV show, Saturday Night's Main Event, Goldberg main eventing. Like,
that's the thing with Saturday Night's Main Event is nothing happens. Like we watched the last Saturday Night's Main Event, and there was a discussion for like 2 weeks about it because it kind of sucked, but it was like, the people being like, well, yeah, it's Saturday Night's Main Event. It's a free commercial-filled 2-hour spot on NBC. Did you expect it to be like WrestleMania 40?
Right.
And
that was the talking point, the commercials.
And people were like, yes, it should have been good. And it's like, I don't disagree with you where I want it to be good, but like, let's get these expectations in order. But my point being is, I think after last Saturday's main event, a lot of people were like, oh, we don't even need to watch Saturday's main event. And I don't think this is going to be any different where like nothing really is going to happen too much. Like what happened last? I think we got the JC Mateo debut at the main event.
Yep. We had the Jay and Logan match. We had the Ron Killings John Cena match, which like,
which was, the Ron Killing stuff was, it was like, it was probably the most, of the recent Saturday Night's Main events, the last one was probably the most, quote unquote, must watch one. I don't know how much.
And then Jesse Ventura losing his mind over cage match rules, which
loved it. Oh, if we can get Jesse Ventura to announce or commentate Gunther Goldberg.
Oh my God.
Oh, I hope so. Ooh.
He's probably gonna eviscerate Goldberg.
I hope. Yeah. Oh my God. Imagine him just like going off and like, this guy's fucking knees. He shouldn't be in the ring.
I went to high school with this guy.
I would love it. But I don't know. I think my glass might be pretty half full, or like, there might be some pretty big grains of salts I'm putting on this where it's like, I'm not taking it too seriously. And I'm leaning into what you were saying of just that, you know what? Go full nostalgia goggles. I'm not going to watch this live, especially if it coincides with All In. Like I'm choosing All In over Saturday's main event for sure. But I'll watch it the next morning.
I don't know about you though. I have 2 screens.
That's true.
It is hard to watch two wrestling matches out of the ones. I'll give you that and be into it, but
especially if we're on stream for one of them.
Okay, so yeah, maybe not then.
But I imagine we're on stream, like, all right, we're streaming both at once, and there's both audios playing at the same time. But I
mean, Saturday Night's main event would probably be if we're doing picture in picture, it'd probably be in the smaller screen,
Yeah. Big time. Yeah. So I don't know. I just for the sake of it, like. The word I used in my Yays and Boos video was that it's a spectacle. And I don't want to just repeat myself, but like I'm fine with just like it's not supposed to, I don't know, like
it's a celebrity match.
It's basically a celebrity match with a nostalgia pop. And I think in the history books, having Gunther defending the world title against the name Goldberg is at least like a little cool, or it's gonna be cool to look back on. Yeah, a lot of like, it's gonna be cool to look back on because a lot of context is gonna be lost. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But I don't know.
It does make me think though how they're gonna book this, just because it's a retirement match. It's not officially a retirement match, but you would think it is a retirement match. Mm-hmm. You typically do lose.
Cool looking T-shirt. Pretty sweet T-shirt.
You like it? Yeah.
That was all right.
Yeah. Got very sweaty. I can barely even see what it was because of the sweat. But I just where was I going with that?
Retirement match. You said
it's not a retirement match, but I'm curious. I don't see Goldberg losing his last match because it's Goldberg. I feel like the better Goldberg matches, or one just because of his limitations, the match is going to be short. It has to be.
Yeah.
But usually if it's a short match, it's a Goldberg jackhammer spear win, which would be good, fun for the live crowd and whatever. But that means Goldberg is going to win the World Heavyweight Championship. Does he then vacate it? Does he then defend it at SummerSlam? They have 2 matches.
And on the other side of things, is Goldberg going to tap? I doubt Goldberg taps to a sleeper.
And then I feel like there's almost some potential, and this is kind of a crazy idea, but I don't think McAfee and Gunther's story might be over. So what if McAfee gets involved? He wasn't on Raw last night.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they could be building to another McAfee Gunther.
No, I don't think so.
But given though how Backlash ended, wasn't that kind of like an anticlimactic thing for the
was
feud?
A weird
and Gunther's still heel, so he kind of shook his hand and that was that.
It was very it was as if Gunther and Braun Breaker just had a match, and Gunther was like, "Hey, young man, hell of a job against me." But it wasn't Braun Breaker; it was Pat McAfee. He was doing that too. So yeah, you're right. It was a little. I don't know if that was just a. Hey,
and McAfee's a big Goldberg guy too. So
yeah. I mean, it's gonna be. I don't know. It's gonna be a match. I'm not taking it too seriously, but I don't know. Maybe I'm giving them too much slack. Maybe I'm just watching it as a fan, which I don't know. Say what you will.
I tell you what, when I do watch it though, and those drums hit, I'm gonna be like, "Let's go, Goldberg!" Even though I did say this is what are we doing here? But
that's the thing.
In the moment when it happens, I'm gonna be pumped up meathead like I always am. So
and he comes out from the back. He slams his head on the door.
and
he breathes out smoke somehow, which I don't know. He inhales some of the pyro. I don't know how he does that. It'll be. Like I said, I think the word I keep using is a spectacle. It won't be worth watching live. It'll be nice to watch the morning after and like, oh, that was interesting.
Yeah, you know? I mean, if you're and this is not me throwing shots at these gentlemen, but like if you're someone that does enjoy a Mr. Iguana or not even Joe Hendry, because Joe Hendry's more of a not saying Mr. Iguana's not. Both of these guys are gimmick wrestlers, and to me now, Goldberg is a celebrity, basically a gimmick. Basically, just a thing that you can point to and kind of almost not laugh at, but kind of laugh at. Yeah, and have fun with.
Yeah, it's like no one's expecting, unless I don't know if I'd be curious if Goldberg's expecting himself to have a 5-star match. You know what I mean?
I think he knows what's going on.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But to me, I feel like he's like I can still go for 30 minutes.
Jesus,
I don't know. I'm just kind of talking, but. So that's that. It's official for Saturday's main event, world title. I think one last thing before we move on. I think one of my funny points was, what if? I don't know what the timing is. Apparently, it's obviously All In's in Texas. Saturday's main event is in Georgia. Things, I don't know how much overlap we're gonna get. However, but what if? And I said this in the Yays and Boos. Where what if? WWE / AEW pull a little Monday Night Wars, and the WCW of it, the AEW, spoils something or goes like, everyone, Mankind won the world title earlier, and then everyone goes over to WWE to be like, I want to see Goldberg win the world title. You know what I mean?
I mean, imagine paying for the pay-per-view, them doing that, spoiling it. Like, no, I can't watch this pay-per-view. Let me go change over to Goldberg, win the world title. That'd be crazy. The dude couldn't even remember his catchphrase.
What do you mean?
Goldberg.
Why?
I think he was gassed, and he goes, "So you're mine." And then I feel like he then remembered. He goes, "So you're next." Do you think he meant that you're mine?
You're just being mean to the old man at this point. You are being ageist at this point.
No, I'm not, dude.
It was very funny how at the Gunther promo, he was like, who's next? And the whole crowd started getting Goldberg, and he went, definitely not that guy.
That was a bit painful. It was so obvious. It was so obvious what he was there to then what happened to him, to then what occurred to him, which is like Goldberg coming in. But like it was him being there, like you could see the writing on the wall. Who was coming out next?
I honestly was surprised they did it this early. I didn't think we were getting it on this Raw. I was expecting it soon. But I don't know. We'll move on from Goldberg Gunther. But
I will say though, I do love Happy Gunther. Like him throwing up the world titles, big old smile at the suit, and just like him so happy and proud of his work. Like,
and I'm sure even too for Gunther, like going to that point, I'm sure it's pretty cool to like work against Goldberg.
Yeah,
true. And who knows? Maybe they surprise us. Maybe like that, he gets them up for a jackhammer sometimes. Like I am setting my expectations are low. But I'm going in with an open mind as a fan, and then if it stinks, then we'll just sit here and be like, "Hey, that sucked," and oops, I don't know.
Hey, given it was 7 years ago, Goldberg versus Lesnar at I think WrestleMania 34 was honestly awesome. So
yeah, I saw a comparison about that.
So if you can give me that, sure.
All right, we'll move on. We're going back to SmackDown where we had John Cena and CM Punk going at each other. Earlier in the night, we had Cena come out, pretty standard promo. R-Truth came out, took him out. Then later in the night, Cena's all pissed. And prior to this, backwards hat. He's yelling in fucking was it Adam Pearce's face of was it Nick Aldis or Adam? Oh, Nick Aldis is Raw. Adam Pearce.
Yep. No, right? Nick Aldis is SmackDown.
Who was he yelling at? Was he yelling at Nick Aldis?
Yeah, Nick
Aldis. He was yelling
at
Nick Aldis.
Yep.
I've got the guys mixed up. He's yelling at Nick Aldis. And he's going back to who's he seeing the back seats? Jimmy, and he's like, "Have you seen Truth?"
Why does he talk like this?
I loved it. He's like, "No, I haven't." Have you seen Ron Killings? He's having so much fun. But anyway, and then that stuff happens. Blah blah. He's out to call out Truth or Ron Killings, what have you. CM Punk comes out. Now, pretty whatever, material from Cena, especially at the beginning of the night, is more of the same, which is like, you people suck and blah, blah, blah. Punk loved this promo from Punk.
Yeah, very
Thought
good.
It was really good stuff. Punk almost pleading with Cena, stop the BS. Just come on, like the crowd's cheering for you. They're still buying the T-shirt. Give them the nice retirement tour that they deserve and that I know in your heart, like want to give him. Punk says, which is my favorite part of it. Punk kind of threw in a couple jabs, and he's like, you know what? I'm kind of starting to sound like PG Cena, but you're starting to sound a lot like CM Punk.
It's true. It was true.
Which I did just rewatch, part of my little Patreon watch club. I did just rewatch their Money in the Bank match, which is to just kind of like, get really refreshed on everything. And just like, first of all, fucking banger, 5-star classic. But it was interesting. Like, I love how they're playing on they've switched roles. Now Punk is like this ultra baby face, and sometimes he throws out a corny line here and there. And then Cena, the direct thing that Punk used to say of, oh, I want to take the title and go home. I want to leave with it. Like, fuck this company and this, that, and the other. To end it, Truth comes out, attacks Cena again, locks in the STF while Punk is yelling out, the truth hurts. Speaking of corny lines. But overall as a segment, I love this. I love Punk's involvement. I think Punk is an integral part at this point and a needed refresher as a John Cena retirement tour defender, a needed refresher and boost of energy and spark into this entire Cena retirement tour. How we feeling going into Cena Punk?
Very good. Definitely, relying on callbacks and the nostalgia, and very interesting how much Cena is kind of mentioning and playing to the fact that Punk is kind of a hypocrite for going to Saudi Arabia.
I'm surprised how much they're playing into it.
It's very fascinating, and it kind of adds to a level of realism, which I always love. I applaud. You kind of glossed over the beginning promo of the night with John Cena. Like
Talk to me what I missed.
John Rushmore? You don't like
Oh, yeah, he did.
You didn't like the four faces of wrestling? John Cena, John Cena, John Cena.
That's pretty good.
And then, of course, you had multiple people come out after that. You had then Cody interrupt. He kind of said his piece. What did he say? Kind of just, typical Cody stuff. But then you had Orton come out, which whoa.
I did forget.
That was kind of my fantasy, hopefully, booking for SummerSlam, a triple threat with Orton, Cody, Cena. So I'm like, this is fascinating that these three guys in the ring. And Randy kind of said, hey, if I have to, Cody, I'll take you out to get the Cena, which I thought was interesting.
Yes, all right, I'm glad you brought that up.
Maybe alluding to a possible King of the Ring finals between those two gentlemen, although I think Sami Zayn's going to beat him at SmackDown, but we'll see.
But we've been needing this Orton Cody in this stage, legacy callback, mentor-mentee thing for a while. I like that tease.
But I want Orton.
I love you, Cody, but I'm going to go right through you.
I kind of want Orton, if they were to feud, to be a heel, though. So if they do it face versus face,
I
sure.
think so.
But I wanted them to have at least one match in this iteration with Orton as the cunning 2009 heel, if you will. Mm-hmm. But then, what did I got ahead of myself of the triple threat of SummerSlam. F that, man. We got to make it a fatal four-way. You know how much I love fatal four-ways, especially. Can't believe this guy came out next. Little L.A. Knight action. Comes down the ring. Kind of says the true thing, which I think a lot of people are thinking. He's sticking out like a sore thumb with regards to these four men, but he likes it like that because he's that guy. Basically, great. Coming at Cena, because Cena's promo is kind of weird to start. He's kind of getting into the whole. He's like a genius, and all the fans are trying to calculate him selling his soul, and then he zigs when they zag and stuff like that, and
which he did mention the selling his soul, and he kind of said he almost alluded to the fact of maybe he didn't sell his soul.
Yeah.
It was some weird part about just wait, he brought it up. But it seemed like he brought it up in a way that he was brushing it to the
dismissing
side.
it.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
That was kind of weird. I'm like, all right, well, it's strange. But it seemed like it was an integral part of the promo to explain that part, and him seeing it kind of just to gloss over his last couple of months and explain how he's just a super genius now. And then LA Knight kind of laid that hammer and go, you're a genius, balding bitch, whatever. I thought that was great. And LA Knight kind of with an anti-establishment gimmick, which I'm kind of, builds a level of realism because it seems like he's not the way he's been booked, at least, where he keeps coming up short in the WWE system of things, where it's, he might not be their guy. And even when he debuted as Max Dupree and he was a manager for models, seemingly there's someone in the WWE system that may not see what many fans see in LA Knight, and maybe it's you. But I just know you're not a big LA Knight truther, so but.
Right. Well, say one's Orton, one's Cena. Hey. No, people are picking up on that.
Yeah, but then like you mentioned,
no, I like LA Knight. Yeah. I also like LA Knight. I don't see him as a world champion. I don't like, and I don't know.
I did boldly proclaim that if LA Knight were to be the one to take the title off Cena of all people, I would get an LA Knight Steve-O inspired back tattoo, LA Knight's whole face on my back. If he was, because
hyper realism.
I love him, but I never in a million years. But I do appreciate them that they're inserting him in the picture.
Like he's in. Hey, here's the thing. I don't know what people got a problem with. Everyone's LA Knight. He's in two main event pictures. What else do you want from him?
Yeah, no, trust me. When he lost that Money in the Bank, I'm like, it's over. I'm sending back all my LA Knight merch. I'm removing from my vocabulary. But then the next night, he's getting involved with Seth freaking Rollins, and that seemingly they're building to that match.
To go back to back where he was in that Cena Orton kickoff SmackDown, and then this past Monday or last night, him coming out during the big, which we'll talk about, the big main event, empty the locker room sort of thing. And he comes out and takes out, I believe he took out Bronson Reed.
Cost him the match.
Cost him the match, kind of extend that storyline with him feuding with Seth's faction. So I don't know. He's, like I said, I think, do I still see him getting the title? No. I think at this point, we should at least maybe lead to give him a world title match.
Or eventual heel turn, which I think we can see what he has as a heel.
I think that'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Because he has the vocabulary for a heel. We just really haven't seen, full heel LA Knight.
Yeah.
Besides him doing when he was kind of doing a
when you first came on the
heel
scene,
gimmick, whatever.
When you first came on the scene.
I don't think it's it might be the change we need.
But then we bled into the whole Punk Cena promo later on the night, and Punk's Mount Rushmore, Harley Race, Bret Hart, Terry Funk, and Eddie Guerrero. And I tell you what, that's not personally my Mount Rushmore, but that's a Mount Rushmore I can't argue with. Wrestling's subjective anyway.
I loved him adding Eddie, Bret Hart, obvious. I think Harley Race, you gotta throw the old school in, and then Terry Funk is just the coolest name to add in there, and one that's very deserved that doesn't get talked about as much as I'd say Punk and Sami Zayn are the proclaimers of the don't you forget Terry Funk, you know what I mean?
And fair enough, and that popped me big time, especially the whole Eddie mention too. It's wow, not the typical person that like me who has Stone Cold in his Mount Rushmore, but those four guys mean the most to Punk, and Punk's opinion over Mount Rushmore is definitely higher than most. So
you want to go for it? You want to go for it? Personal Mount Rushmore. Personal
Mount Rushmore. Okay,
so that's what I'm assuming. I mean, did you take his as a personal Mount Rushmore or a Mount Rushmore? Mount Rushmore. Should we do both?
I think. Because the actual Mount Rushmore of wrestling is followed. It is Hulk Hogan.
Yep.
Bruno Sammartino. I should have said Bruno Sammartino, Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold, John Cena.
Yeah, it's tough to argue. But
personal is fun though.
Yeah,
you can argue Ric Flair
because it's different.
You can argue.
I think Taker. I think the way that I think that Mount Rushmore of WWE specifically, to be clear.
Sure.
And I think because a lot of people will be like, Mount Rushmore of wrestlers, in ring stuff. Well, that's gonna be different than whatever. But I think if we're talking about overall impact, who brought the sport to where it is,
all genres. I mean, all time periods.
It's tough to argue with Bruno, Hogan, Stone Cold, Cena. It's tough to argue with that. It's tough. I don't. Yeah.
But personal, you get a lot of fun. Okay, so I'm going Stone Cold, obviously.
Yep.
Then I go, I think Jeff Hardy, and then I go CM Punk, and then I go Roman Reigns. I think.
See, is that your? Because I'm kind of hung up on the Mount Rushmore thing. Is that are those your favorites, or those
It's very close to my favorites. Okay. I think, but also just me as a collective human being that's been alive for 28 years, just how much wrestling I've watched, I think Roman Reigns probably won't be there.
Because I'm gonna take it less as favorites, it's hard to describe. It's like, it obviously does have bias into it.
Yeah.
But I think also a Mount Rushmore, like the definition, or not definition, but I think what Mount Rushmore is like, who to you laid the pillars? Like Mount Rushmore is like who laid the pillars, who's the foundation, right? And a lot of my favorites aren't going to be, some of my favorites will be, you know what I mean? But like, so I think off the bat, if I'm going who I think is the Mount Rushmore, not just going real, just like
favorites.
Not going favorites, but also not going like the standard four.
Because I wouldn't mind getting like, it's hard to argue against Hogan, but I wouldn't mind wedging him out for someone like Ric Flair, which I think
I think there's an argument for sure. But all right, so my personal Mount Rushmore that I think is different than favorites. I'm kind of doing mental gymnastics here.
Yeah.
Stone Cold, Shawn Michaels, Rey Mysterio. I mean, it has to be Cena.
Yeah, no Taker.
Well, I was gonna put Taker in there, but I'm thinking, because again, if we're thinking Mount Rushmore and you're thinking of who changed the game, I don't think Undertaker really changed the game. I just think he was the best at the game, you know. But I don't think he necessarily like.
But you don't have the game.
Don't have the game. But I just don't think. Like, I think all four of those guys, like Stone Cold, obviously Stone Cold,
and it's tough too because then you have like The Rock, but like The Rock was like so much a part of the Stone Cold era, so it's like. And
people are gonna criticize my Ray pick, right? I disagree, because Ray, there's a reason why there are these smaller guys. Ray and another crop of people, it wasn't just Ray, but Ray leading that charge of that time, kind of paved the way for like the cruiserweights to be more, or smaller guys to be more prominent, and a different, faster paced lucha style to kind of be brought to the mainstream. That's my defense for Rey Mysterio being there. John Cena, I brought it to the mainstream in the 2000s, 2010s. Stone Cold did the thing in the 90s, and Shawn Michaels kind of going back to, while I don't think he made it as mainstream as like a Stone Cold or a John Cena, I think during his time he pushed a level of wrestling that was more athletic than the 80s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's kind of where, that's again why I kind of go to, like, why I left The Undertaker off. So I think character-wise, I think he's like right up there, but I just don't think he did as much as those four to lay groundwork.
Yeah, I think it's fascinating too. I think it's a great four. And then even to go back to mine for real quick is like,
talk to me. Yeah,
I had Bruno Sammartino in there.
Yeah. So what's your official four?
So I know me and you probably have watched a million Bruno Sammartino matches, right?
Of course.
But because I'm just an asshole that is a wrestler historian. But like I feel like I have to include the guy that was WWE champion for like 5 million days and was someone that like is kind of like the Babe Ruth of the sport. So like, how do you not have him? But like, so then if I'm kind of, that's my mainstream Mount Rushmore. Going back to what your style. So I think I go, if I can kind of maneuver around Hogan, which but you can't tell the story of wrestling without Hulk Hogan. Like,
I know.
WWE's like wouldn't exist. So I think you got Hogan, Flair, Stone Cold, and then Cena. So kind of similar to the main one, but
and that's the thing. Like, it's hard to do. Like I said, I'm just kind of doing mental gymnastics where it's like a Mount Rushmore is just it should be to me different than personal four. But also, if you're doing a personal Mount Rushmore, then how is that different than your favorite? I don't know. I was kind of
maybe we do a quiz, not quiz video, but an extra video of Mount Rushmore. Graps, Kurt Angle, Danielson.
It's funny you say that because someone did. It's kind of why I did it. Someone did send in a quiz recently. I gotta find it, or not a quiz, but like.
Idea for video.
I can find it real quick. I'll pull it up.
Because like pure graps and that changes everything. You won't see Hogan there. I respectfully don't think you see Cena there.
That was the premise of the video where they were like, I can't find it, but they were like, hey, you guys should do a video on. Yeah, here it is.
Women's Mount Rushmore.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Madone.
So this person says Mount Rushmore of WWE categories. It's from Matt. Matt, shout out you if you're watching this. They said, loving all the new content. I know filming and editing is a pain, but I create a simple yet subjective discussion topic that has been flying around every wrestling podcast, it seems. Your Mount Rushmore. There are no wrong answers, blah, blah. So I think it's just, what is this? All right, so it's a big document, and wow, holy shit, a lot of categories. So we just go through every category, just saying and I think we gotta be definitive about it. It's not like it's less personal. It's more of that first list where it's like, who is the Mount Rushmore, and like I don't want to spoil the video, but top 4 match types.
That's fun.
Top 8 Hall of Famers, 4 men, 4 women. top 4 tag, you know, Mount
factions. Oh, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Or they're using the term top, but I think top and Mount Rushmore are a little different. But I get the gist. So I think that's a fun video to do. It'd be a discussion. I think maybe even 2. I don't know if we want to film it today, but it could even be something where like I send you it and we kind of come prepped.
Yeah.
To kind of, and we kind of debate
so.
it. You
That'd
know
be
what
safe.
I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think I'd be as good if we're just doing it on the fly.
Sure.
So I think I'll send you this. We'll kind of prep it.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're doing all 45 categories.
Right. Yeah. Or even the one that was like men and women for like the same category. I think that's kind of like overkill. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, like I said, we want to prep for this.
But I think it's fair to do like if we're doing like, you know, if we're just listing wrestlers, I think it's fair to do like a woman who's Mount Rushmore women. For sure, you know what I mean? I just don't know. Yeah, I just don't. It would double the categories if we just do like
for each one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But definitely.
But yeah, that'd be your set. So yeah, shout out Matt, shout out you for doing that. We'll definitely do that with the next coming.
It's Mount Rushmore season, baby.
I guess so. All right, we're
at Punk and Cena.
Yeah, did you have? Oh yeah, because we were talking about Punk's Mount Rushmore or whatever. But yeah,
it was a great promo by Punk. You know, some people throwing out the Punk's greatest promo. Like, no, it was a lot of good callbacks and great hype for this upcoming.
It wasn't his greatest at all.
No.
I loved it a lot. It's probably my favorite. Not my favorite. It's one of my. It's one of his best ones within the past recent run. It's been probably his best this year. Yeah. Maybe up there top 3 this year.
Yeah.
But yeah, I liked it a lot, but I think that's crazy saying it's an all-timer.
And then R-Truth got another lick in. We're going to have that match on this upcoming episode of Friday Night SmackDown.
They announced that, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Ron Killings, though, not R-Truth.
Ron Killings versus John Cena. John Cena wrestling on TV.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Did not think we're getting that. And then another... It's kind of been decided that they're still calling him R-Truth on TV. It's not Ron Killings technically, but you would think like with how much different character changes and how much he's kind of toting that he's Ron Killings and he's driving now. And
yeah,
but there are still on the graphic it says R-Truth, so it's still R-Truth, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. Like if it was just commentators still calling him Truth, then like okay, fine.
Yeah,
but the fact that. And I also had a differing opinion on this. At first, I was like, who cares? It's the same person. But that's not true because he did kind of end R-Truth in that promo when he cut his hair.
Right.
He was talking about R-Truth in the third person. He was like, that he's silly. I'm Ron Killings now. So I don't know why, at bare minimum, they haven't just been changing it on the graphics. And then, if people
I have somewhat of an idea. Do you think it could be because of his last name and it not being marketable / kind of like for like YouTube purposes? I think there might be a thing of like they don't want that to be on titles of videos just because of like other searches that can come up. Killings.
No, I do not. Because let me show you this T-shirt that they put out.
Oh my God! People are wearing that? That's terrible. If you're not a wrestling fan, if you have no idea what wrestling is, and then you see a man in that shirt, are you going to walk the same way as him? No. That's crazy.
It's crazy.
Bananas.
Yeah. It's
you did the video for the t-shirts.
Yeah. So this is that's why I knew about it. So for those that are unaware, I don't know if you can see it on screen.
No.
But I made a video or am in the process of making a video on my channel about the worst current T-shirts, and this is one of a popular one, and it's Killings Spree with then a photo of R-Truth, and just for a multitude of reasons. Also, just like it's dicey for a couple of reasons. It's
just
not
an ugly shirt too,
and it's all just a bad shirt. And then why would you walk around with a T-shirt that says "Killing Spree" on it? It's crazy, and it's wild. So for that. Which, like, I do get what you're saying, where it's like, if they do post a YouTube video with the word killings in it, like, there's 100% like algorithm stuff.
Sure.
However, like I said, if they are also just then putting a T-shirt out that says killing spree, I don't know what to think. Which maybe, granted, putting out a T-shirt that says killing is different than a YouTube video that has the, whatever. Maybe. It's like, it's not like it's the same thing, like algorithms, whatever. So maybe I'm sure I don't think there's not any merit to that. I don't think, but
it just feels like they're kind of shooting themselves in the foot of the whole purpose of this character change.
Right. Yeah, I don't know.
They're not jumping all into like, oh, this is a new guy. He's going under a new name, but I mean, at the end of the day, he's nicknamed like he always went by in TNA Ron the Truth Killings. So like he still is R-Truth, but to me, the whole R-Truth gimmick he kind of made it seem like that's his sillier side, and he's no longer that silly side no more. So.
Like I said, that's why I wouldn't mind like if commentary still just called him Truth or whatever, like as a nickname, just like that's what we've known him forever. But like, even just like the small effort of just changing his name on the graphic or on the roster, like whatever. It's the least you can do. And yeah, it's kind of weird.
I don't think he's had an entrance yet, too. I know Metro Booming was wanting to make new music for him.
I think it's like they're tweeting back and forth.
Yeah, or I mean, if Ron Killings is an artist himself, so I think he would be like, no way.
Well, I think it'd be a Ron Killings track produced by Metro Boomin.
Okay, then sign me up for that. I don't see why they wouldn't do that then at that point. But I feel like this character definitely deserves new theme music.
I don't know if What's Up really matches the attitude that Ron Killings has, you know? But yeah, you're right. He hasn't had an official entrance. We'll see on Friday, I guess.
Let's go.
You know? All right. I'm down to move on and kind of cover some of this King of the Ring stuff, some updates here. We had, controversially, for people on the interwebs here, we had Jey Uso advancing in the King of the Ring tournament in the main event last night, defeating Bronson Reed, Sheamus, and Rusev. Jey Uso running with the big meaty boys. And this loss, silly. Sami Zayn come in. We're talking about LA Knight. Seth Rollins comes in to kind of, he's all pissed off. His boys didn't go through in the tournament. Cody Rhodes comes out, and we get a little stare down between Seth and Cody, and Seth kind of backs off. And then, as it happened on SmackDown, Cody Rhodes also advanced, and we are getting officially in the semifinals, Jey Uso versus Cody Rhodes. We had a little bit of a, respect. Hey, we're friends. We're going to fight in the tournament. Handshake to close the show. And then, we already kind of mentioned Orton's advancing, but kind of sticking with the Jey advancing and then Cody involvement and whatever. It makes sense. My quick 2 cents. I'm curious what do you think about Jey going? But like, he's the former world champion. He should be in this match. It's not crazy for him to go over. Sure, in a perfect world, would I have loved to see like a Sheamus or a Rusev, like a brand new Rusev going over? Sure, but it's Jey Uso. I like the matchup of Jey Cody as friends. I like the matchup potential of Sammy versus Jey. So you're getting a lot of story there. I don't know I know a lot of people are not happy. I have zero problem with it. Where are you at?
I was going for Rusev in this match, but I'm not sure. I'm definitely not surprised, and I'm not displeased that Jey Uso won this match, former world champion. Him winning this match with busted ribs kind of bothers me. But again, you had another Fatal 4 match that it featured interference.
Sure.
You had Braun Breaker coming down, Sami Zayn, and then Penta coming out.
Yeah, Penta did come out.
Pretty freaking sweet flip over the...
How I took all of this, it was like a fine episode of Raw. Yeah. It definitely wasn't like one of the better ones. But they didn't have, like... Cody wasn't wrestling. Seth wasn't wrestling. Penta wasn't wrestling. Sammy wasn't wrestling. So this to me seemed just like oh shit, we got to give these people, what they asked for. We paid, $1 million for a ticket. Let's just send everyone out there so they can all make an appearance. We got Penta coming out there hitting the, Tope Con Hilo. I believe is what he hit. Maybe he had a Tope Suicida. Don't know what he hit. Don't remember. But yeah, we got everyone coming out just to be like, all right, you guys got your money's worth. Like, cool.
You saw everyone.
Yeah.
It was very reminiscent of there's a popular video that always circulates online every 6 months. It was like, this was the best ending of a SmackDown. It was like Taker and then Booker T and then Rob Van Dam and Big Show then Shane. Like, it reminded me of that. And like, again,
for sure.
And kudos to the current roster because these guys all felt like big stars. But even when Cody came out, I'm like, whoa, is Cena gonna come out too? Sure. And when Cena comes out, then LA Knight too got involved, like we mentioned earlier too. So there was so many people, so many branching storylines right now. It's really exciting, but also definitely not what we're used to with WWE programming, where they kind of don't trust the audience to pay attention to 2 stories or multiple stories at once. So this is very refreshing. I really appreciate this. And yeah, a very fun Fatal 4-way match. I like too where now we're in the, I think what's it called, the quarterfinals, the final 4
of semifinals, right?
Yeah, correct. Semifinals. I don't know who's going to win because
me neither.
To me, the matchups
look at the bracket.
So I'll say this: if one person wins, I can kind of tell who in the other matchup who's going to win. So
fair.
If Randy Orton beats Sami Zayn, I think Cody, without a doubt, will beat Jey. If Sami Zayn beats Randy Orton, to me that points to Jey beating Cody. But then, I mean, I don't know, Cody versus Sammy makes sense too.
It does. It does as well.
I mean, and also. My fandom kind of comes into play now. I really need Cody to beat Jey Uso with busted ribs. You kidding me?
I would doubt if Cody doesn't beat Jey Uso. There's no way, right?
Shenanigans. I mean, I think there's going to be shenanigans.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I don't love it, but you have two baby faces that have multiple enemies. There's going to be some kind of
because this happened on SmackDown, right?
Yeah, Sammy and Orton is, yes.
Oh, and Cody and Jey is happening on Raw.
Yep.
Oh, okay, never mind. I was going to say on SmackDown you do have the Bloodline, which if they got involved for Jey, kind of rope Jey back into that. But I guess who knows? The draft, the brand split doesn't matter. That could all still happen. Yeah, I don't know. So who just say you think is going over Zayn Orton?
So I do. To me, the first matchup will dictate for me my predictions for the second one. But overall, who I think is going to win?
I don't think we're getting
Zayn.
I don't think we're gonna of the matches we're potentially getting. I would laugh out of frustration if we end up getting Orton versus Jey Uso in the finals.
Yeah, that would be bizarre.
Considering we could have got Sammy Jey, Sammy Cody Orton.
The one we're for sure not getting is what you just said, Orton versus Jey Uso.
I agree.
That being said, I kind of feel, and I think we're in agreement, this is kind of Sami Zayn's tournament to win.
I think so,
So
man.
Sammy gets a big win over veteran Orton, but then the Raw matchup, you still kind of have the unpredictability with who wins that, because Cody and Jey have history with Sammy.
Yeah.
And it's still, that would be also another babyface versus babyface matchup, which for a world title opportunity at SummerSlam. So,
as much as I do like the idea of Jey versus Sammy, because you do, that's an instant bloodline callback, and it's I would argue Sammy and Jey. Well, I don't know. Jey and Cody on screen are also pretty buddies with all their libations. But regardless, and Sammy's maybe been teasing stuff with Karrion Kross. Karrion Kross is on TV for 3 minutes, and everyone was like, "Woo!"
Yeah, I know. It was crazy.
So I'm curious what's going on with there. Is Sammy going to turn heel or give in to Karrion Kross? If Sammy goes over, I do think Sammy's beating Orton.
Me too.
I think then, especially if this match is happening on Raw on the other side, I would say Cody beats Jey. I would rather Cody lose to Sammy and Sammy goes over Cody in the finals than Cody losing to Jey in the semifinals.
Yeah,
I think that's where I'm at.
Yeah,
that's where I'm at.
I totally am in agreement with you. I still think there could be shenanigans on the Cody Jey match.
Yeah, for sure.
But also too, the prospect of a Orton Cody King of the Ring finals.
God, I love
gets
it.
me giddy a little bit. So
I
I kind of would love that. But then where does Sammy go from here? I don't really know.
And then it's if Cody wins the King of the Ring tournament, then it's it's a little bit of an eye roll.
No,
you don't think so?
No, I've seen a lot of that online and fans talking about why is Cody in this match? To me, this is great. We're getting Cody Rhodes wrestling on TV weekly. This bodes well for a babyface trying to earn his title shot back, compared to back in the heyday of the Super Cena just getting a rematch just because. So I remember those days. So I'm very pleasantly surprised that Cody is featured in this tournament and has to earn his way to a championship match at SummerSlam instead of just pulling card. So
I'm glad he's in it. That's not my take. Is I'm glad he's in it. I'm glad he's wrestling. I'm glad he's one, I'm glad he's one of everyone else, right? To me, it just seems like an easy, obvious answer for him to win.
Yeah.
Where I think someone like a Sammy would benefit more from it. However, I do agree though, let's say he does, if he wins, I'm not gonna be super upset because like you're saying, it does at least give reason and logic and at least a mountain that Cody had to climb to get his world title shot, which I always do appreciate, as opposed to we're getting Goldberg, Gunther, we're just getting a title shot. I appreciate someone like Cody who, outside of kayfabe, could just get booked in a world title match just for no reason. So I would definitely appreciate if this is how he gets to the SummerSlam match. I'm not gonna be mad at it. I think I'm just so much rooting for Sammy.
Yes, yes, and I don't blame you. And I think Sammy has even more to gain by beating a Cody Rhodes in the finals. But really what stresses me out and kind of gives me anxiety about this whole thing, it's all these baby faces working hard, doing their jobs, earning all this goodwill to build up to a title match, only for Seth to cash in, because he just
I always forget about that.
Just like you having the Money in the Bank briefcase, Seth has it too, and that's always lurking. And I think whether it be Jey somehow overcoming all this, drama with him losing the world title and then winning the King of the Ring with busted ribs and all this injury and then getting back his title, only to then just immediately lose it, scares me to Dickens. Or Sami Zayn maybe capturing the dream, only to lose it, or Cody Rhodes to finish his second story, only to lose it immediately. I feel like that's what we're leading to.
Okay, what if Sami wins the title at SummerSlam? Seth cashes in. They end up having a little bit of a match. Sami beats Seth. Failed cash in.
Whoa, that would be insane. And putting over Sami big time. They won't do it though.
What if it's Cody?
Then that's a mega eye roll though. That's like super for Cody. I wouldn't like.
Yeah,
that.
I don't disagree.
That's like a Super Cena moment.
Yeah, for sure.
You kind of don't want that. And again, like, how dare you, Triple H, try to book your way out of the Money in the Bank briefcase again like that? But
right.
I just think it's such a safe bet that Seth's, in the immediate future, Seth's going to be the world champion.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm kind of just, yeah. And then, like, it just goes to the conversation of, all the way back of just like, did Jay really have to lose the title now just to get the Goldberg match? And then is Gunther just going to have a short and unremarkable reign again, just like the last one? Is this one even going to be worse because it was, way shorter? He loses it only at SummerSlam.
Well, because you remember too, Seth and Gunther had that interaction promo a few weeks ago on Raw, the backstage segment. They had some words.
Sure. Yep.
Maybe they kind of booked themselves out of the somberness of a Goldberg getting choked out inside its main event, where you have a post match where Goldberg then spears Gunther, and then you get a dinner. I think. I don't. If
they want something to happen on Saturday Night's Main Event,
that'd be something. That'd be something. So that's kind of a prediction I have. I just thought of that. I'm like, oh, that makes some sense.
Jeez.
Which I kind of like, because then you would lead then Seth as the world champion facing the winner of the King of the Ring, likely at SummerSlam, which could be Jay or Sami.
Sorry, say it again.
So if Seth were to cash in at Saturday Night's Main Event, become world champion,
yes,
that would lead to the winner of the King of the Ring facing the world champion, most likely. Which
I'm not mad at, a Seth Rollins versus a Sami Zayn, or a Seth Rollins versus Cody for the world title,
or Seth Rollins versus Jey Uso.
I guess. Interesting. Wow, June. Wow, that's all. So okay, let's get some timelines going. On June 20, so June 28th is Night of Champions. That's at, I thought it was at 1 p.m. This is saying noon. I thought it was at 1. Let's get. So Saturday Night's Main Event, I assume, is gonna be
July 12th.
I know it's July 12th, but I assume it's going to be 8 to 10. And then AEW All In.
We'll go until 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. But it's in Texas, so we might get an early start, which I don't know if they have probably announced. Okay. Ooh, whoa. Oh, shit. What? 3 p.m. start time? What?
So, okay, the buy-in show, or the YouTube pre-show for 1 hour. Whoa.
I didn't know it was happening early.
That's pretty cool.
So then they might not even. So this is why, because people have been saying, like, no, they're going up against, like, the NXT Great American Bash show, I believe is what it is. So that's why people have been saying, they're not going directly up against. So that's because, obviously a lot of the Goldberg talk. I mentioned it even earlier.
Another NXT booking around the same time of an AEW show. So that's not. I mean, that's kind of what they always kind of do. If anything, this is a good lead-in for Saturday Night's Main Event.
Yeah, I mean, in this case, I mean, in this case, I'll be able to watch both of them. I guess. You go. But also 3. I mean, what it's gonna last like? It lasts like 6 hours. 5, 6, 7, 8. If it lasts like 6 hours, you only bleed into Saturday's Main Event for an hour. Not that bleed into Saturday's Main Event is like, oh, it better not. Because I'm watching All In anyway.
Right.
I didn't know it was at 3 p.m. So then you have that. So you have Great American Bash and All In happening basically the same time. Then later that night you have Saturday's Main Event, and the next day you have Evolution. Whoa.
And then Triple Mania, and then Slammiversary, and then I'm trying to think of a Ring of Honor pay-per-view. Just making stuff up.
Whoa. Big Saturday.
Oh, what's that?
Ring of Honor.
No, what was that defunct, terrible promotion from like EC3? Control Your Narrative. Control Your Narrative pay-per-view.
Crazy.
And then you got a WCPW, and then
all right, we'll go on to the Women's King. I almost made the same. Simon Miller said the same thing. He said, He was making a video and he went, "Woman's King of the Ring." He started laughing at himself, and I almost said the same thing.
Woman's King of the Ring.
Which would be a terrible, because it'd be a terrible name. Anyway, Queen of the Ring, Asuka. Most recently goes over Stephanie Vaquer, Raquel Ivy Nile on her return. She will face Alexa Bliss in the semifinals. I want to talk about the Asuka match and kind of Asuka going over. But on the other side of things, to round out the rest of the bracket, we'd have Jade Cargill on SmackDown going over against Piper Niven, Nia Jax, and Michin. Like I said, Alexa Bliss went over Charlotte Flair, Alba Fire, Candice LeRae. So that's what the women's bracket is looking like. But yeah, Asuka winning on the debut. Great to see Asuka back. Her old theme song. I'm having a good time personally. Having a great time. I love Asuka. And then Jimmy, you know what this could mean? This could mean that we're getting in 2025 Io Sky with the world title versus Asuka at SummerSlam. Baby.
Oh, damn. Yeah.
If they do it. Wow. If they do it. See, and they better do it.
Yeah, you know what?
I'm not confident in it.
I didn't even think of that potential matchup. That fucks.
Yeah.
But here's my dilemma though.
Talk to me.
I am a Jade Cargill stan.
Sure.
That might be my first tattoo, just Jade Cargill.
On your neck. Like how Undertaker had Sarah. You get Jade. That'd be sick.
I don't know. I kind of just want her like posing, honestly.
Sure, that'd be dope.
The whole thing. But yeah, that kind of seems like that'd be the way better potential option to go with for especially a match with our GOAT Io Sky.
Yeah. So you have, it's going to be on one side, it's going to be Roxanne Perez versus Jade, which I do expect Jade to go over.
Jade's going to squash her.
Roxanne, though. See, I don't know. You're sleeping on Roxanne, but I think Jade should probably win that. On the other side, you have, like I said, Alexa, Asuka.
Apparently, they were tag team champions at one point.
Alexa and Asuka?
Yeah.
That feels like 2019. It's either 2019 or 2021. Those are my guesses.
You could have lied to me, but I remember the commentator. I think, Corey Graves, which it's nice to see you, Corey Graves.
Yeah, I like Corey Graves last night.
Hell yeah.
Let's see. 2022.
Yeah, I mean,
Alexa Bliss and
I don't
Asuka.
remember that. That's crazy.
They took it. Oh, I kind of remember this. They took it off Damage Control. Like that was the feud. Interesting. But yeah, man, Asuka looked great on her return. I'm not surprised. For a while there, I was thinking Stephanie was going to go over because Stephanie is like that girl right now. So I'm kind of surprised. Not surprised, but like I wouldn't have been shocked if Stephanie went over. But super hyped that Asuka went over. The face paint looks so sick. She feels like it looks like she's having fun and then happy to be back.
She still got it.
Oh yeah, never lost it. But so yeah, who do you? So you're if we can look at the bracket the same way we kind of did the men's.
Yeah. I definitely have Jade over Roxanne, and then Asuka over Alexa Bliss, I think for sure.
Yeah.
And then you have Asuka versus Jade at Night of Champions, which
that's a cool match. That's a wild match.
Unique. Definitely unpredictable. Because then to me though, Jade being the title picture at SummerSlam makes so much sense, and then that can also bleed into eventual Naomi cash in.
Right.
But then Asuka, the dream match of Asuka versus Io Sky. I mean, we can probably get there one way or another anyway. But damn, that's a tough one. I mean, complete toss-up. I'm a big Jade Cargill fan, so.
But here's the thing. I potentially see maybe a Naomi costing Jade in the semifinals.
Sure.
And someone could also cost Roxanne. You know, they're both kind of like Roxanne's wrapped up in some Judgment Day stuff. Obviously Liv is unfortunately going to be out, but like, Raquel or something could happen with Roxanne just as much as something could happen with Jade. So I really don't know who's winning that. I could fully see Jade getting taken out by like Naomi and then Roxanne goes over.
That makes complete sense. But I love to see. I'm so happy Asuka's back. You see that her hip toss on Raquel. That was brutal.
Yeah,
pretty good double drop kick from Asuka. Just hasn't lost a step. And then the Queen of the Ring tournament these matches have been fantastic. 3 out of the 4 I would say are like very underdog winners. I'll say because I think I picked Rhea to win that one.
Right.
In her Fatal 4-Way match, I thought Charlotte was going to win her Fatal 4-Way match. It was Alexa, and then I thought for sure Stephanie, superstar Stephanie.
Sure.
Devil's Kiss, so over. Everyone loves the move, and what I'm enjoying too, though, besides of course that move and the visuals of it, but even the as we go on, the women's wrestlers reversing it. Like Raquel kind of just lifted her up for a drop down like seat thing, and then I think Ivy Nile reversed it into a submission or something, and or even the uniqueness of like where they're doing it, because you had Stephanie do it on a ladder at Money in the Bank, and then on the hardest part of the ring, the apron, this past Raw. So really loving that.
I love too how now like it's just as big of a spot where now it's the heel spot for a heel to interrupt the Devil's Kiss and not give the crowd what they want. Like now every single match, every single multi-woman match, whatever, the Devil's Kiss gets teased now, and then the heel interrupts it or whatever. So I think Raquel did that early in the match, and like everyone's like, no. But yeah, I'm pretty sold on. I mean, I'm just blinded by the want of Asuka versus Io. But
I mean, to me too, like the Queen and King of the Ring should always be kind of like your best in-ring wrestler. And all respects to my god, Jade Cargill, Asuka's a lot better in-ring wrestler than Jade is. So I'd kind of edge her to win in that aspect as well too.
All right. Well, that's like I said. I wish I had more to say. Like I think it's as I think the women's qualifiers were like pretty unpredictable, but like now I'm so just shoehorn or just so rocket strapped to like Asuka, where it's like I don't have much else to say about the other match. It's like now at this point the men's is like I don't know what's gonna happen, but still unpredictable. All right, let's go to. We had AJ Styles versus Jay McDonough, which was a lot of fun. That then led to officially set for Night of Champions. We have AJ Styles versus Dominic Mysterio for the Intercontinental Championship set, like I said, for Night of Champions.
Cool. I'm worried about our guy Dom, man. AJ Styles ain't no joke. This is a legit competitor.
I don't know if Dom's winning here.
I don't know if Dom's winning here either. I think AJ might be getting his second IC title. I'm such a sucker for this kind of trope in wrestling where even if it's babyface or heel, just stealing the title before you win it. Like I think AJ did return it to GM Nick Aldis, but I would have liked him to keep it and kind of rub it in Dom's face at any given time. Like, oh, I got your title, nana boo boo. Mm-hmm. But yeah,
he looks damn good with the title too.
He looks great with
it.
A little worried, but like I still think Dom deserves a longer reign.
I agree.
I hope. To me though, but here's the thing though. AJ Styles, not a shape. Dom has only beaten shapes since being champion.
I heard this.
So I'm very concerned that AJ Styles is not a shape. He is a human being. Mm-hmm. So that is definitely worrisome. And then, of course, too, you can point to Dom, but he has backup. He has a Judgment Day. But there's cracks in the Judgment Day. And now even Liv Morgan's down with an injury in real life. So it's not looking good for him against AJ Styles.
Which I would like which I don't know how realistic, in kayfabe it is for Dom to beat AJ Styles pretty clean. But I would love it for Dom's title run if he got a pretty decisive win over an AJ Styles. However, I do think I think Dom will get it again soon. I do think, though, we're just looking at AJ Styles pretty late in his run. People are speculating, he's leaving soon, maybe, or like, once his contract's up, he's gone. There's All Elite, speculation and blah, 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 which maybe would lead to the fact of AJ maybe losing. If AJ's maybe out the door, maybe AJ might not win this.
It's got a big win for Dom as AJ's leaving. That definitely makes sense. Or maybe even, hey, AJ, before your contract's up, we do love you. We do want to give you the title.
Do you want to stay?
So there could be some kind of, behind the scenes, implications to this match, but
which I do like how they've been making. I'm mainly talking about the Intercontinental Championships. Like we have AJ going for it over on the women's side, which we're going to talk about in a second. We have Becky and Bayley feuding for the IC title. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this match. I think it'll be a lot of fun. I wouldn't be shocked if we see AJ walking out with the title.
I'm worried for our boy Dirty Dom. I love the guy, but AJ Styles ain't no joke.
All right, we'll move on, like I said, to Becky Bayley. I think this will close out the show here. Good promo. Bayley cutting a face promo, kind of just talking about the kind of the story here of just I've always kind of been second fiddle to Becky and I'm sick of it, this, that, and the other. Becky sucks. Becky coming out fully draped out in Chicago Bears gear.
Yeah,
that rocked. I love that.
Green Bay, baby.
And then, yeah, it's just a solid back and forth. These two have so much history together. And their match at first, the match was set for Raw next week. Then backstage, Bayley's talking to Aldis. And Aldis, I don't know what we're leading to. Aldis seemed to get a pretty interesting text message where he kind of looked at his phone and there was something going on there. And then I think it was Bayley or AJ or someone else came in and he kind of, put the phone in his pocket.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
There was just a little something. So I don't know what's going on there.
Maybe it was Adam Pearce maybe bitching him out for running his show bad, and maybe we're going to get some brand warfare soon.
Maybe. But yeah, so then it made official next week on Raw. We will get Becky Lynch versus Bayley for the Intercontinental Championship. Excited for that. I like this feud. It's cool that we're getting this level of a feud for the IC title. And then Lyra still backstage keeping high on Bayley of just like, Bayley admittedly being like, hey, I made kind of a selfish move, had to look out for myself. And Lyra was like, all right, I'm going to do the same. So,
haven't texted me back.
Yeah, why haven't you texted me back?
So that's like, whoa. And Lyra seemed to take that very personal. I think we're definitely going to be on the fast track to a triple threat match at some point, and sign me up. And honestly, I'm a big fan of Lyra. I hope Lyra gets her title back at some point and leaves these two veterans in the dust.
Sure.
But I do love Bayley. Happy she's back. She's fantastic as a babyface, and the man in the Chicago Bears gear. Oh, speaking of NFL teams, dude. The star of this show, Monday Night Raw, you mentioned it wasn't the greatest Monday Night Raw. The star of this Monday Night Raw is a fan in the crowd, Minnesota Vikings jersey, 69, a Brock Lesnar one. He was all over the show. And he was like, I forget who was in the crowd, but he was like, Sheamus? I think it was Sheamus.
Yeah.
Dapping up
Sheamus was doing like the beats to Bronson Reed, and then like he's like Sheamus kind of felt the hype and kind of went to him. And
I think during this Bayley Becky promo, like, he was like in like the view shot of the camera, it's very clear. It's like going nuts, and I'm funny. Like, this guy was the star of the show.
Great energy.
So shout out that guy. That's another NFL WWE kind of mixed jersey that I've always wanted. Brock was actually on the Vikings for like a few weeks in preseason before,
right?
So it's a legit jersey.
Very funny that it's like his number was 69.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, perfect. In Jacob Fatu's Raider jersey, like the Bronson. But apparently he was on the Ravens, so I would love and Ravens colors are pretty sick too, purple.
Who was on the Ravens?
Braun Breaker.
Oh, sick.
Yeah. So like, there's a lot of NFL W jerseys that I got my eye on if I hit the Mega Millions.
Well, that might be the show. Like I said, I don't have much until this Bayley Becky match. Like other than like I'm buckled up for the ride, I'm enjoying it. They both made some great points. Like Becky's heel work is just getting better and better. Like I said, I like the Chicago Bears stuff. Obviously, also an ode to Seth Rollins, being the big Bears guy. I think the crowd was chanting "Bears still suck," and she was like, "They beat you last time." But yeah, I think, all right, who's winning? What happens here? And then we'll close the show, head over to the Patreon. But I see. Do you have anything off the top? I'm kind of back and forth.
I think Becky's gonna win this match.
Becky retains.
I think Becky retains, and we're on the fast track to an eventual triple threat match, which I can't wait for.
SummerSlam.
Yeah, I think so. That seems to make the most sense. Absolutely. Or Evolution.
You do need another thing. Right.
Another thing about Liv Morgan's injury that sucks. Freaking probably gonna miss Evolution now. It's a huge hit to the card.
Right.
To me, she's like the MVP of at least the Raw Women's division. So
it seems like they were leading to, Nikki Bella. Speculation of either team with Rhea or maybe bringing it. Like I maybe thought bringing in Brie. Which I haven't seen a whole lot of speculation on that. Versus her and Raquel, Liv and Raquel.
I think I had a fever dream and saw something of like a promo for Trish Stratus returning on SmackDown. Did you see that? Or did I have a fever dream? I think I might have had a fever dream.
I don't know if I saw a promo. I think I just saw something online of like a rumor.
So maybe I'm not crazy. Okay, I'll take that.
But I wouldn't be surprised if Trish is in there. But yeah, I mean,
my GOAT.
That's the thing is we also, while they are booking for Saturday Night's Main Event or whatever, like let's start getting some Evolution stories going. I think I would honestly love this. As much as I said like SummerSlam, I would love Becky Bayley at Evolution. That's a massive card, or just do the triple threat. Fuck it. But yeah, let's start figuring out Evolution, because I want to see some of these matches getting put together. And
probably Rhea versus Raquel. Now that Raquel's probably on the solo bend, and they've been feuding. Rhea got involved in that Queen of the Ring.
It's like what's Io doing? Because like obviously we're setting up for Queen of the Ring finals. With Asuka going for the belt at SummerSlam. We need to figure out something with Io. We got to figure out something with the women's U.S. title, with
the women's
Zelina,
tag team championships,
women's tag team championships in general. Like if they're depending on Liv's injury, and I don't know, a lot to still figure out.
I bet we're gonna get maybe some NXT call-ups, maybe some TNA involvement, because like, not to say that they're a bit thin in each division, but a whole pay-per-view.
I mean, even just to put, which I don't know if call-up's the word, but like even just to showcase like the NXT women's roster, I think is a perfect place to do it. That being Evolution. But yeah, I think like I said, I mean, granted, we do have like a month. What is it, in the middle of July or something like that? I think we just looked at it like July 18th or some shit.
Yep.
So we have some time, but I would like to see some more seeds being planted and some more direction and hype up for Evolution. But I would love get the NXT women involved and have get Jordan Grace on the card. You can run back a bunch of stuff with like Stephanie and Julia,
Sol
Ruka, Jada Parker, Kalani Jordan. Like there's, I mean, the names are endless around the Zarya. But yeah. All right, folks, with that said, that's the show. If you want to hear a bonus episode and hear us continue talking, we got a big Q&A over there taking your questions, and we're just kind of chit-chatting, for a whole other bonus episode. Head over to patreon.com/Stache Club Wrestling for $5 a month and get the whole back catalog. Folks, we'll see you over there. We appreciate you being here. One for the road. And we'll see you over there. Bye. Oh, sorry, excuse me. And boom. Just kidding. I didn't mean any of that, and I was just being a dick for no reason.
Yeah, then you might start getting me to actual boo you.
That's funny.
So it's like, I don't even know if that would... I went to the movies with a girl, and we didn't watch 1 second of that movie.
Whoa!
We were just making out the whole time.
That is a
whole time.
long
I know.
movie.
I didn't know that going in, so we were just like...
It feels like it's just a kind of I don't know about a dark cloud over everything, but like... things in the rest, and this isn't me just complaining about the IWC for like the 8th week in a row. This is way more general than that.
This is legit software, and you sent me a couple of old quizzes and editing stuff that's like crystal clear on your very nice camera is like pretty fun to me, and it's like I can really find myself once I get in the groove of things, like having fun editing.